everybody. Good morning or good afternoon or good evening, depending on what time it is for you where you are. Happy Wednesday. Welcome back to a fresh, very exciting week of New Hazel streams. It's exciting because it's new. Kitty Cat's here. Hi, Kitty Cat. How you doing? How are things? I'd like to thank Tim with a 16-month resub. Thank you very much, Tim. And Ravalia with a 24-month resub. Happy 2 years. Already 2 years. What to say? You are perfect, Hazel. That's why. This is possibly my favorite. Wait. We're busting out the green one. I trimmed the bangs on it kind of unevenly, and I'm too scared to clean them up because, like, it's not gonna grow back. But we're living with it. we're working with it. Welcome. Let me brief you on the situation. I've got a full cup of coffee, which is good. I've got in here 89% progress towards the Vicious Moonbeast, which is a mount I've been working on for a while. I feel like we streamed PvP almost all last week. We might have done like a day or two of mount runs, but we've been doing a bunch of solo shuffle streams and they're not over yet because this bar is almost full, but it's not full. So that's what I'm doing today. I would love to finish it today, but we'll see if that's under my control. I did have one day where I streamed solo shuffle for 3 hours and got no progress because I did not win. First, I want to check out my vault and see if I can grab like a socket or something. Kitkatsu, thank you for the 30-month reset. Artistic choice. You know what? You're right. Any transmog? No, those are all learned, so I'm just going to take the tokens and I'm going to buy a socket and I'm going to plonk it on something, buy a gem, and then walk around with my extra little bit of versatility and whatever. So yeah, give me a Nature's Cradle. Thank you very much. And then we can put that. I already have a socket on my helmet and my bracers, so it's just belt and rings at this point. I may as well do belt. I still have 2 more pieces that I could socket before my gear's like technically done. I wish there was like a big, I mean, I'm sure I could like look something up in Wowhead. I just want to see all of the Dragonflight gems. I want to see the Dragonflight gems. Item level maybe? No, that doesn't help me. Because I don't know what they're called. I've been using Zen Nelf because that's Mastery Versa. I wouldn't mind getting the reverse, which must be possible. I guess I can just like tab over things until I maybe find it. There's Stam Versa, that might be kind of fun. But Sensei's Nelf is what I like on my Priest. Zen Master Versa Mastery. There we go. Zen Malachite, that's what it's called. I'll just do one of them. Just even it out a little bit. My master is probably pretty high. I've been jamming into it pretty heavily because it's good for throughput. It's good for throughput, and I feel like I have enough haste to live my life with. So let's stick that in there. Very good, very good. Have a little coffee and slam in. We dropped some rating at the end of the last time, so hopefully that accommodates for me. Oh, sorry, kitty cat. Hopefully that accommodates for me being, I haven't touched this game since the last time you saw me play it, which was like a couple days ago. I might be a little rusty. They're in the other tab. Oh, it's rude of them. They have multiple stats. They should be in multiple stats. Love green hair in general. Reminds me of Enid from Ghost World. I don't remember if I thanked Kikatsu for their 30-month resub. Good morning, Hazel. Thank you very much. Been shuffling for the last few days. Wish I'd started sooner. Oh well. I mean, we still have no season end technically in sight. I think we're going to learn more about that in March, but like there's definitely time. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. How is everybody's Monday, Tuesday? I cleaned my keyboard and my desk, and I decided that it's time for me to get a new desk mat because this one has been in valiant service for at least minimum 6 years. It might be closer to 10. And she's done well, but she has stains that will never come out. And I'm spoiled and I want one that looks a little nicer. So I figure I'll get a new one and I can stain that. But in the meantime, I wiped everything down. I gave partner and I had a cute little evening sitting at the kitchen table, giving my keys and my keyboard a little bath. So it looks nice because it was very dusty before. Kitty walking all over my desk is very cute, but it does mean that a lot of cat hair and a lot of just general dust tends to end up on and underneath the keyboard. Could complain. Thanks for asking though. Wasn't fun? That's no good. I'm sorry to hear that. Notice when I queue for shuffles during prime play hours, seem to be better players around you, you lose less rounds. So The trick, though, for me is that when there's better players, they're both against me but also on my team, and it's shuffle, so they shuffle them. So I've been trying to, like, kind of find a rhyme or reason behind why I sometimes will win everything and sometimes lose everything within the same rating brackets. And I've been like, well, is it, like, the weekend players? Is it the weekday morning players? Is it, like, what's the deal? And I haven't figured anything out, because aside from the enemy healer, who will never be on my team, everyone else, you get to play with everybody, so, like, I don't know. Following your old videos of 37 easy WoW toys to buy with gold, spending about 70k in way too expensive profession toys, finally reached 500 total toys, got the Murloc glasses. Nice, Ryok. Good evening, Hazel. By my time. Good evening, Mr. 1973. I'm still in queue. This is very strange. I'm a healer. What's going on here? 62 minutes and 41 seconds. This game thinks I need more time to drink my coffee before it sends me in there, and it's, you know, it's probably right. Yeah, that's all right. Oh, there we go. There we go. I don't need it yet, but I am possessed of a fun new gadget that I can use to toast up my fingies when they get chilling. I'm excited about that later. It'll look like I'm dual-wielding PowerPoint presentation remotes. Oh, Torn in the Love Witch set. Torn in the Love Witch set. That's the end of the sentence. With a crown. It's been customized. We have, that is a paladin, and then we also have a balanced druid. Warm up games. Gothic Witch set. Did you lay waste to your gold savings for it? Yep, that's exactly what I did. And then I started crafting again, because I was like, well, if they're gonna sell things that I want to buy, then it's in my best interest to make some gold, because I don't want to give them actual money for it. Here's a new color every day. Yeah. And on some level, to some people, isn't that the dream? I like change. This one I hadn't pulled out in a little while. It wasn't. It was in the drawer, but we do have it. My night elf hair used to be green, and I thought, oh, it's cute. I'll match my night elf, and I guess I could change her mog and everything. But I gave her a purple braid to kind of go with this little transmog set, and I like the transmog set so much that I'm kind of unwilling to change anything, including the hair.
Avatar. Power infusion.
Oh, it's okay. So if they've kind of got a lock on the Cyclones, and I'm just going to stay really far back. I'm going to just stand around the pillar, out of line of sight of the healer, and look delicious. So I think I got a trinket out of the warrior with the root.
Bound. Bound.
My keybinds are feeling a little bit better after a week of playing with them. It's not perfect. Oh dear. But I'm getting a little more used to targeting who I'm trying to target on the first button press and not the fourth one. Timocracy, thanks for the 26-month reset. Love colored hair. Wish mine was lavender. I have lavender nails today. I redid them because I was getting some pretty serious chips and I had otherwise neglected to fix them. I bought the 2 mil Spider from Legion, the 1.2 mil Beetle, and I have a mix of joy and despair. You know what always makes me feel better about that is get on one of them and then turn on your RP walk and just do laps around Voldraken. You just need a good flex. You just need to remember what they're for. which is making other people feel poor.
Penitence.
When possible, I like to, especially playing around priests and stuff, spread out my trents so that, and then try not to stack on top of them, so that we can't all get feared. Because that's like a really valuable move that priests will do, is they'll just AoE fear you and all of your trents that you just slammed out. Are you gonna be okay? Yeah, you're gonna be fine. So trying to, donate to that to them less frequently is sometimes nice. Yeah, speaking of donating, have an iron bark. It's free! Okay, we went. Oh, didn't notice how super fresh you're looking today. Best possible combination for your night elf, or are you just practicing contentment and trying not to optimize every tiniest detail? Best possible combination. Transmog-wise, or in other aspects? We're always practicing contentment. It is green! Female gnome crit sound always makes me chuckle. Is that the crit sound? I know exactly the one that I think that you mean. I won't attempt to make it because it's too early for my neighbors to hate me. I can do that after 11. I've gone to the wrong side of my hunter. That's a little spooky. Here, I'll get the read.
Avatar.
Wow, that's a lot of defensives. We just have so much CC. Not saying we're gonna win that one, but that was ugly. There we go. Have you ever played Discipline on Priest? Once. Blackwater Behemoth. It was necessary. Morgan changing the hair color. Oh yeah, I'm happy with this for now. I don't think it's my forever look, but right now I'm feeling the vibes, so we're riding that wave. My PvP gear is at level 489. I have a full set of Conquest gear. Gladiator Losa is the add-on that you're looking for that reads out cooldowns. Yeah, looks like we're starting on the Druid.
Cyclone. Avatar. Power infusion.
Stand by that trinket.
Cyclone. Cyclone.
So, unfortunately, at this stage of the game, the kitty cat is on my desk. She's headbutting my mouse head. I love her, but this is not ideal. And then the cyclones are that the druid was so expertly doling out are now on the opposite team and being directed at me, and I like that less. Alright, kitty cat.
Cyclone. Cyclone.
If you could,
Cyclone. Cyclone. Cyclone.
Kitty, this is so distracting. I'm really trying my best. Kitty, that's my mouse head! Please! No! She's so sweet. She just wants love. She just wants pets, and she's found the hand that gives pets. And you can't be mad at her because she's a cat, and because I love her, and because she's blind.
Avatar.
So it like takes some doing for her to find the source of the pets. Alright.
Cyclone. Cyclone.
Thank you. She sat. That's a little better. I can't see chat, but that's fine. I don't need to see chat right now.
Cyclone. Cyclone. Cyclone.
Oh. Kitty. Alright, well, if you sit right there, I suppose that's fine. You could be foreground cat. Hi. I was all worried I was gonna have cold hands today, but they're sweaty instead. Alright, I'm once again fighting against this boomkin, which means that I need to really pay attention to where they're standing. And at the very least try to hang out in a corner. If at all possible.
Cyclone. Power infusion. Cyclone.
Just not... It's okay if I get cycloned, it's gonna happen, but I just need to not donate them. I need to make them work for them a little bit.
Cyclone.
That's cooldowns. But they don't have a trinket, so if I can just CC them through their whole burst window, that would be awesome. Okay, their burst window lasts for like half an hour. But, like, we did a little bit of it. My hunter has the orange circle.
Cyclone. Cyclone.
So I just need to hope that my warrior's like cool back there because I'm getting very far from them.
Cyclone.
They're a healer just as same as I am.
Penitence.
Alright, alright, alright.
Cyclone. Cyclone.
Power infusion.
That was not my finest work, but it will do. Oh, the warrior
Cyclone.
reflected a clone. I'm thinking I didn't clone the druid. Did the druid clone the druid? Technically, yes. Okay. Oh, no. Oh, that was my bad. Oh! Rugmanimus, I'm sorry Streamlabs gotcha. It was just a... It's just... It thought you had a link, but you totally don't. How much verse are you running? What do you think? Whoa, 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 spilling coffee. Oh, no. I don't know if I'm doing a good thing, is the thing. I don't really have a lot of logic behind how I've done my gear. I, to some extent, copied the gear that I saw on a better druid, and then I haven't really worried about it too much since. So I have, I don't know how much worth I have. Hang on a second. Ah. We didn't spill very much coffee. This is what happens when you just don't drink it.
Cyclone.
You just need to slam it all in one big chug. And then just deal with your heart palpitations.
Cyclone.
And then you can't spill.
For infusion.
Bell. Oh.
Wrong.
Cyclone. Cyclone.
So that's Barkskin and Pain Sub. So I think that's a pretty good place for a oh. For a defensive, for a,
Cyclone.
you know, a clone and a Malo moment. Yo, whoa. Good one. Nice. What do we get? 3 and 3? Cool, 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 cool. I like that. Alright, coffee on arm. I was gonna wash this jacket anyway. I'm using a jacket on my blanket on my lap like a blanket, so that works out. Saved the pants. Ooh, what is my coffee? Oh yeah, that's right. I unbound my character tab because I kept accidentally opening it while I was playing. So I like unbound on just specifically my druid a couple of the key menu items. So I have to like click the menu to open my character window or my achievements window because in theory I shouldn't need to do it in a hurry. Let me see. I have, and mind you, I am not, don't listen to me. I have 37% verse. 7810 is the number. I don't know what I'm doing. I am gearing based off of nothing. So this is not the stream for gearing answers. It's working fine enough for like 1700, but maybe it would need to be optimized for a different rating. I don't know. You either drink your coffee or you live long enough to spill it. You stream it until you have them out. That depends on how today goes. Does it harm other people's rating if you lose? Sort of. You're a team. Like, if you lose, they lost with you. It's, and it's shuffle, so, like, they're not going to be on your team for all of the rounds. If you lose all 6 rounds, then everybody else kind of does evenly, except for the enemy healer if you're healing. Where does one get your transmog? So the skirt and the leggings are from the cash shop. I dropped some gold for tokens for those. The wings are from the Kyrian. The wings are Kyrian wings from the Path of Ascension. The top is some old, what is it called? It's called the Buckled Harness. It's probably just off a harness vendor in like Orgrimmar or something. And then the boots are Forsworn Aspirant Slippers, which is again like a Kyrian piece. Yeah, I think your PvP gear will work good for now. Or your PvE gear will certainly get you started. Okie dokie. Havoc DH, Unholy DK.
The Hunt. Metamorphosis.
Oh god. Mistakes! I'm still kind of sort of cleaning off a little bit of rust related to just targeting the right person and then pressing the healing buttons in the right order is more or less what I'm working on right now.
Power infusion.
Metamorphosis. Metamorphosis.
Oh. Tough. I want to practice, don't want to bring their rating down because I'm just learning. You are going to have to tank someone's rating at some point. You cannot PvP in a vacuum. It's a total team game. In solo shuffle, it's probably the fairest way and the way that inconveniences the least people because the teams will get shuffled. So if you're losing everything, then everybody kind of gets a piece of that evenly, and people will generally benefit from you being there because they're not right. My thing that I do is I solo shuffle and I turn off chat. I have a little chat tab that has all of the chat windows filtered out, and I have an add-on that prevents me from seeing any whispers from strangers. And then I just do my best and I don't worry about it. And that works really well when I can't read anything that anybody might happen to send me because people are admittedly pretty toxic sometimes. Not everybody and not all the time, but often enough that it's like a thing in this mode. And yeah, you're inflicting yourself on everybody evenly. It's fair. Won like 10 shuffles in a row healing when I started, and then got queued with people at 2K, lost all 6 rounds, people send me messages. Yeah, and it's not, I wish people wouldn't do that. It's not helpful, it's not constructive. They're just venting. It's never about you. Even if every single thing they say is true about what you have done, the intent of the interaction is never about you. They're just making their feelings everybody else's problem. And you do not have to see that. There is technology.
The Hunt.
Because at the end of the day, all you can do is your best. And your best is going to have some mistakes. And their best has some mistakes too. Nobody plays perfectly. And if they say they do, they are full of it.
Metamorphosis.
And you're going to play a heck of a lot better if you get in there and you just get a bunch of practice. Including making mistakes.
Penitence.
You got to throw like 10,000 games.
Penitence. Metamorphosis.
Really? Can I get away with this? That works. People should be glad that New Blood's entering the PvP side of the game. Yeah. Absolutely. The thing that I think a lot of people, especially like, you know, the 2K MMR ragers don't get is that if the reason why the game feels so much harder, and this is speculation, I'm not an analyst or anything, but the reason why I think the game feels so much harder at relatively lower ratings than it used to, and the reason you're seeing like gladiators playing at 1800 is because there's nobody filling at the bottom of the ladder, because the second somebody says, I'm gonna start PvP, and they queue into a game, everybody just like rips them a new one. It's the least friendly mode to start, and you need that bottom of the ladder to make the rest of the ratings make sense. There is nothing wrong with playing at a low rating. There's nothing wrong with making mistakes. It's gonna happen. You gotta do your best, focus on your game, and leave people alone. Seasons where the rating was more inflated, so to speak, like it was easier for people to get like Gladiator and whatever because it was easier to get to 2400, were the seasons that they were forcing people to PvP for, I don't really remember what reason, but there was like some PvE incentive that a lot of people would PvP in Shadowlands, and that was the same season from what I recall briefly. That was roughly the same season. Oh dear lord, that person's dead. That it was like much easier to actually push rating because there was like a nice healthy populated active ladder. Yeah, that's exactly it. They're flaming because they want to feel better. They want to blame someone for their mistakes. Or maybe they, like you're saying, maybe they won 4 to 6 rounds, so they had a great game, and they just want to flame you to make them feel better about, like, themselves. People that do that are usually people that have insecurity, and they desperately need some avenue of their life where they can be like, hey, look, I am above average. I'm decent at this. Look at this person. Aren't they goofy? You know? And that's, like, become important to their ego.
Power infusion.
Which is not a very sustainable way to live. You know, you gotta do you. And I think that people, to some extent, like, I wouldn't censor their right to vent. I'm just censoring my ability to see it. You have the right to say whatever you want. I have the right to not look at it. That's kind of where I land on it.
Penitence.
And I'm not perfect. I get frustrated too. You'll see me play games and talk figuratively to my DPS being like, why have you gone behind 7 pillars into Mongolia? You know, I miss you. Come back and party over here. But not only is that not necessarily the right play, maybe I should have pushed in with them, I don't know. But also, I would never whisper that to somebody. I would never, like, message them and make that their problem. And I would never want anybody from my stream to do that either. I don't think anyone does, and I hope they don't, but, like, that's never the vibe. I'm just proud of everybody here for queuing up and waiting in the queue to get into Solo Shuffle. I also find that I like people a lot more if I don't find out if they rage. If I have all the chat muted, and so I can't tell what they're saying, I tend to imagine people much more favorably than, what am I doing here? There we go. People are grouped based on their rough skill level, which the game figures out based on how much you win and lose and against who. Why are there so many survival crafting fantasy games coming out that are right up my alley? My pet theory is that every game dev right now is trying to make the next Valheim because of what a hit that was. That I don't know the numbers, but I have a feeling that Valheim and then subsequently Palworld have made bonkers buster bank relative to the amount of money invested in those games. So every studio is trying to do it now because one, the format's trendy. So people will try it just because it's like, oh, it's the next so-and-so. And then secondly, you know, companies like money.
Power infusion.
But I think that Valheim is mainly to blame because of how wildly successful it was. And it kind of proved that that format can do really well. And I'm happy because I love Valheim. And I also love games of that general type. Can I save this hunter? Maybe. really root and not cyclone that free? There we go. There's the cyclone. I have fake hair in my mouth. That's no fun. I can't even take it out right now. I'm busy. Sometimes I press buttons and I don't really know to what end.
Inhabitants.
Okay, how do I heal more than I'm already healing? I can't. Who do I CC? It's the paladin, isn't it? This one might be might be mildly doomed, yep. How do we do? 3-0. We like that. Let's go check on our percentage. Crunchy mic for a second? Here, hang on. Is it better now? I might need to replace this audio cable. It's been doing that. Testing 1, 2, 3. No, not better. Okay, hang on. I'm gonna mute it in software and I'm gonna reseat the cables, and then I will unmute it in software. So don't spam muted because I'm about to do it. Testing 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Better? Yes? No? Hopefully yes, because that's kind of my big idea. Good? Okay. I'm gonna try not to touch it, and I'm gonna maybe add an XLR cable to my Amazon wish list. I really hope it's the cable and not the microphone. Gentle? Gentle? Good? Okay. Alright. Let's take a look here. We're at 93%. Look at us go. Wow. It's been going nicely because I have been trying to queue at 1800. Unfortunately, here's the other sticky part of my life in terms of PvP this season, is that I'm at 39 of 50 for Battlemender, which is winning solo shuffle rounds as a healer at or above 1800. I'm 39 of 50. I really would just need a couple of rounds above 1800 with a couple of wins. But that has proved tricky and difficult, and I am now thinking I am likely to finish my Moon Beast before that. So then it's a question of, do I keep going to try to finish Battlemender? Because the problem is that I could easily play the rest of the season, never crack 1800 again. It's possible. It's not like this is kind of a foregone conclusion. This is just I keep playing long enough and it'll happen eventually. Battlemender isn't, but like I'm so close now that it's like, just give it. Give it. Did something happen before that last round? I don't know. 2024 Hazel becomes a PvP hound. I mean, I think my stream could survive it as long as I can cultivate the ability to just talk consistently to chat and about random stuff, and then also just play with my fingers. I think that what's going on the screen is relevant, but kind of the equivalent of having like Subway Surfer while a TikTok talks about the best way to put on eyeshadow. It's mainly just like the thing that you're doing with your hands while you socialize. Presumably the achievement will still be there next season. But it's Battlemender Dragonflight Season 3. It's not gonna be there next season. Kitty, are you coming back? Need to be like Peekaboo. Man, if I was like Peekaboo, I would have a yard for my dog. Come on, kitty cat. What is the best way to put on eyeshadow? The people must know. So I haven't actually watched the TikToks. I've just heard that's what people do, is they juxtapose unrelated content onto the same screen, so that not only are you watching short form content to get stimulated, but you're also like looking at a game while you're listening to somebody talk. But if you want to know the best way to put on eyeshadow, the secret is use eyeshadow primer. If you're just slamming straight eyeshadow right on your lid, it's going to look okay. But if you use eyeshadow primer properly, and then you use it, that's going to give you that pop of color that you're looking for. The other tip is use the right brushes and take your time blending. Otherwise, it is going to look bad. I say this as somebody that has shown up on stream, on videos, with terrible eyeshadow many times. Because I typically lose patience with the blending process. And then I go, yeah, that's good enough. And then it's not. But it is, you know. Good enough is whenever I say it is, because it's, you know, no one's going to stop me in the stream and be like, ma'am, you must go home. Your eyeshadow is not blended fully. Don't have primer, use concealer. That's a really good tip. What is the Fifth Element way of applying eyeshadow? All right, it's hand warmer time. These things look like I'm opening 2 garages at once. They also apparently get really hot. The first setting of them is already kind of hot. I would hate to turn them up to 2 or 3. All right, we have, oh, look at all these melee. That is a Death Knight. That's a warrior. Mythic Farak while attempting Trixie makeup. What era of Trixie makeup is the question?
Nullifying Shroud. Metamorphosis. Nullifying Shroud.
Oh, they've got no shred up. Okay, so I can't clone the healer for a while. Which means we just need to kind of do our best. I shadow melded, or at least I attempted to press the button. So maybe now. They have a high-tech pair of glasses that you put on, and they just blast the makeup in your face. Holy. Season 7 jump scare era Trixie makeup. There was a YouTube short that was going around that was of Katya visiting Trixie, like in the modern era, and Trixie, for whatever reason, was wearing her Season 7 makeup again, and she like jump scared Katya at the door. It was good. But I could watch those two do absolutely anything, and I would be thoroughly entertained. Alright. I am on a team, as it was destined to be, with double Death Knight. So did they not get their Null Shroud up? Let me see. They didn't. Haha, love to see it. Although it looks like they were trying to be on them. Let me clone the Demon Hunter instead.
Sleepwalk. Nullifying Shroud.
Okay, now they got their Null Shroud up.
Nullifying Shroud.
20 seconds and I can do another Ursul's Vortex. Which I think is funny when you have 2 Death Knights that just want to stand and cleave a big pack of enemies.
Sleepwalk.
Emerald Communion.
Abaddon.
We're struggling. Our throughput is no longer keeping up. Yeah, that fire breath is dirty. It dispels hots, and they can do it in AoE. That's ugly. That really hurt. We're toast. We had our chance. Weak words are making all the funny noises. Who cares about eyeliner? It cannot be seen through your Apple Vision Pro. If you don't have one, people will be more concerned about you being poor. Oh, man. I didn't have the patience to sit through a whole video explaining to me what the Apple Vision Pro is supposed to do. Or, like, what... Yeah, like, I have a vague understanding of what it does, and I have no understanding of why.
Nullifying shroud. Sleepwalk. Avatar. Sleepwalk. Find shroud.
That was so risky. That was a dumb play. I would not have gotten away with that. That's a lot. You can do it. You can do it. I spend all my mana.
Avatar.
Yes! Empties your bank account, makes ample money is my understanding. Finally reached the age where I don't care about the newest gadgets. Yeah, I think I'm either right there with you, or else the new gadgets have just gotten weird and unappealing. Vampires would be cool to see added. Add one class to the game? Yeah. Chat's already on top of it, but my pick is a blood mage, some kind of a like a blood caster, or even like a cloth necromancer. But I really want like a sanglemancer.
Nullifying
You know?
shroud.
Okay, now we're against the devil
Nullifying
death
shroud.
knights. Ooh, bad. Bad news. Okay, we've survived the initial onslaught. We're cleaving, so I don't really want to CC a DPS if I can avoid it.
Pillar of Frost.
No, that's so brutal. Remember Pentium 2 and 3 being big deals? Miss being excited for new computers coming out. Yeah, they reached a point where I basically had computers that did everything I wanted to as fast as I needed them to. And you know, the new things that would be harder to do that would need a newer computer to do didn't seem as important to do. If you can break apart that sentence and make it make sense. Like once upon a time, in order to just like edit a 1080p video with like a couple of layers in it, if you were trying to do that on like the old computer that you had for school, you were going to have to render it like overnight and it was going to fail 3 times, and then on your internet connection you were going to have to like upload overnight. Whereas
Nullifying
now
shroud.
it's kind of like no big deal. It renders at almost
Nullifying
playtime
shroud.
if in 4K. So
Pillar of Frost. Nullifying shroud. Sleepwalk.
oh,
Nullifying shroud.
CC. This is danger. That fire breath is going to clean those dots. Yep. No. No. Come on. Healing. I'm healing. I'm pressing my buttons as fast as I can.
Pillar of Frost.
Run, run, run. I'm the rested druid. Lady. Doesn't run.
Sleepwalk.
I'm going to get slapwalked. Proven fact, if you yell, you heal more. Unfortunately, I don't know if it's gonna do the trick. Nope. But nowadays, like, because my computer keeps up with what I do, if I wanted to, I don't know, what would I need more computer for? Many layers in 4K videos with like advanced effects on them, but the advanced effects don't necessarily make the video any better for the type of thing I do. They don't necessarily make it any more engaging or informative or like help. They're mostly just like a huge amount of extra resources and also just like work to make something look fancier, which doesn't necessarily translate to more views. It could, but it probably won't at the ratio that you would need to justify all of the work. So, you know, you don't really need anything, you just use the same thing for like a bunch of years because it does a good job.
Shroud.
I really need this win.
Killer the Frost. Sleepwalk. Metamorph. Metamorphosis. Sleepwalk.
They're gonna catch me up again. Not the Emerald Communion! Anything but the Emerald Communion!
Killer of Frost.
Okay, not anything.
Sleepwalk. The Hunt. Nullifying Shroud. Metamorphosis.
Okay. Whew. Hey, I got a killing blow. Look at that. Accurate yelling makes me DPS more. Maybe in a few years it'll generate your final boss guides instead of you not making them. I know, right? Remember going to Fry's Electronics, being amazed at just all the stuff? Don't get that when browsing Amazon. I don't know if I haven't heard of URE5. So far, we've had a bunch of 3 and 3 games, which is not so good for climbing rating, but it's perfect for grinding the Vicious Mount. We're up to 95%. Soldak, thank you for the 28-month resub. Oh, hey, a thingy. Appreciate it very much. Oh, Unreal Engine 5. Oh, I see. Okie dokie. Let's spend some of these points, eh? See if there's any Mog we can buy. I think I bought the last expensive Mog weapon. So I have main hand, off hands. I have the cheaper ones now. So we could buy a scepter, buy a dagger. That, like, this dagger looks like it's for opening enormous bottles of beer. There's the offhand, and then that's pretty much it for Mog that I don't have for that's usable anyway. Oh no, hang on. I could get the Agi Scythe. I could save up for that. That's apparently different from something else that I have. Oh no, it says learned there, but it says not learned there. And it doesn't say learned from another. Oh well. Let's just buy the not a dagger. And then for honor, I can get 10 marks of honor. That's a lot. We're up to 67. I never did go shopping on my hunter. I meant to. As a healer, should you use the Cyclone Banish thing for druids in PvP or no? Talk to me more about what the Cyclone Banish thing is. You should definitely use Cyclone. 10.26 patch will have us pirate an idea from another game, and we get player housing. Funny you should say that about the dagger. The offense literally a corkscrew. Can I mog a bug? We're at 95%, which means that I need either 2 or most likely 3 more wins. It saves the learnt not learnt corner icon from the previous window. Oh. Well, I guess it's a good bug because it's a bug where I have a thing that it didn't look like I had. Jeff, because 1800 is the top 10th percentile of PvP players, you know. Perhaps my advice, well, I will tell everybody all day that I'm not really a great person for advice, but perhaps my advice is more applicable to the common person than the advice of somebody that is a 2900 multi-glad. Anyone miss the old PvP marks for buying gear sets? Anyone miss the old PvP marks for buying gear sets? Something different than these ones? Because, like, I've been buying gear sets with these ones. It's been good. Oh, AV marks, WSG marks. Yeah. No, I don't remember that. Addicted to collecting tabards for T-Mog, but now it's the colored cloaks from the trading post. Miss BFA gearing. I am reasonably happy with PvP gearing in Dragonflight. My mecha will always be not gearing. I would much prefer stat templates where I don't have to worry about any of it and I can just go and play, and then if I die, it's my fault. I don't particularly like gearing as part of the game for PvP specifically, but I understand that the devs are pretty committed to, and lots of people seem to like that gearing is part of the game for PvP, so I play along. I'll get my set, it's fine. Planeswalker Bear finally dropped for me. I feel like such a dork holding hand warmers. They're working though. My fingers aren't super freezing. Yesterday I went out and did an impromptu hike because I was already out going to like an appointment, and after my appointment it wasn't really dark yet, and I was like, you know what, I'm not actually all that far from this one place that I like to hike. What if I just like stop there on my way home and then I'll just go spend some time on the trail? And I did that, and the good thing was that it was lovely and it was quiet and it was serene and it was recharging, and the bad thing is that it was raining. And not only did I not wear hiking shoes, or like shoes that are nice to walk in, I also didn't wear any kind, like a decent coat. Like I was very poorly dressed for hiking. But I figured, you know, I don't have to go far. It was still worth it. I would do it again. Next time I leave my home, I'm gonna make sure I have hiking stuff handy though, just in case I decide to go on a whim. All right, we have a mage and we have a demon hunter, and an LA shaman and a beast mastery hunter. Use hand warmers in Japan nearly all the time. Oh, I mean they're surprisingly simple. I didn't understand when people used to tell me to get USB hand warmers. I thought what they meant was gloves that had like a little dingly USB cable that you would plug into your PC. I thought we were talking like fingerless gloves that had a wire on them, and I thought, I'm gonna get tangled in that. I'm gonna be unable to game nicely in that. That's gonna look really silly. That seems like a terrible gadget that's just gonna break immediately, and I will regret having bought it. Kitty, maybe we don't go on the desk. Oh, don't. If your healer's AFK, they might just be moving their cat. And it turns out, while that is a thing, and there is a pair of gloves on Amazon that like, they're like plush toast that have like little heating elements in them that are USB powered. Most of them are these little like puck things
Nullifying Shroud.
that just heat up. It's just like little remote things that you hold that heat up, and you could like keep them in your pockets if you're out hiking or something. Who are we on? If I was gonna cyclone somebody, who? In the words of every owl ever. Who? Who?
Nullifying Shroud.
Maybe the hunter? They're in cooldowns. No, someone's hitting them. Healers are usually a safe bet, except that they're... You're gonna try. I'm not here for it. I don't know.
Ascendance.
Where did I put that?
Sleepwalk.
that Ursul's Vortex. Okay.
Sleepwalk.
On me. Oh, he's back in that way. That's a good spot. This is definitely a comfier bracket to play in. Not as much going on. Easier to juke.
Dream Projection. Hex.
Ho, 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 ho. Sometimes you have to play chicken. There we go. Been at the beach since Friday, going back over this afternoon. Always had to leave the coast. USB gloves are real though. Yeah, it is a real thing. And maybe they're not as awful as they were in my mind, but this seems better, especially when you've got like gaps in between to hold on to stuff. I think during a raid night, you just have to find times to like put your keyboard down or your mouse, like, you know, step away from your keyboard and your mouse and like hold them for a bit to like reheat your fingers. Recently started Dragonflight again. Is it too late to get tailoring and enchanting leveled? It depends on what your goal is. It's not too late to level tailoring and enchanting, but if your goal is to do it and then profitably make gold off of it, you are going to have an uphill, a mother of an uphill battle. That's going to be really, really hard. It's probably too late to realistically do that.
Nullifying Shroud. Sleepwalk. Dream Projection. Polly.
Oh. That's not what I want to do.
Ascendance. Sleepwalk. Sleepwalk. Polly. Sleepwalk.
I haven't really been looking at where my DPS are. I've been looking at where the enemy team is. Which is not the same thing. Oh, I shifted.
Polly. 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 Polly.
Look, I'm CCing the mage. That was basically like a cyclone.
Nullifying Shroud.
That's great.
Nullifying Shroud. Sleepwalk.
I'm gonna get sleepwalked. You tried so hard. Like, I usually will, like, that usually gets me. Like, usually it'll be happening and there's something else I need to do, so I'll, like, shift out and then they'll be mid-cast, so it'll catch me. It's not, like, necessarily an arbitrary bad, like a all-the-time bad thing to do. But in that instance, it was very funny, because I had nowhere else to be. Evoker Wealth thing killing me. I feel you. Mage walls are the bane of my existence, even when they're on my team. Frost mage walls just like break me. That was a cool mount.
Nullifying
Was
shroud.
that a Wad Glad mount? It was like a Gron, I
off.
think.
Sleep
Ice
off.
veins.
Sleep off. Nullifying shroud. Polly.
Oh, didn't quite shift that. That's a
Sleep
long
off.
CC. I've elected to sit it. They've luckily decided to stick to the target that I had all my hots on before. So
Polly. Polly.
I'm just gonna eat
Sleep
that.
walk. Sleepwalk. Sleepwalk. Polly.
Oh, they have more haste than me. Oh. Through that one. Okay. No, it's not over. It's not over. It isn't over until it's over. I learned this from a very important pop song. Oh,
Sleepwalk.
is that person DCing? They were running in place and my heels weren't landing. That was weird.
Polly.
Nice. The sleepwalk alert reminds me of head on, applied directly to forehead. Yeah, I think Prevokers are usually quite hard to kill. They have a lot of defenses. You've got your Renewing Blaze, you've got your Scales, you've got good mobility, you've got CC, you can kind of self-peel. I haven't tried playing it, so maybe it's not as easy as all that. But sometimes, I don't know if their gear is behind or whatever, but like sometimes the lobby will just identify a player that they can effectively pile on, and whenever it's the healer, it's a huge bummer for that healer. You're always worried about them leaving because people do.
The Hunt.
Oh, me?
Metamorphosis.
Why, thank you.
Metamorphosis.
Sometimes I'll CC somebody and they'll get out of it, and I don't know if they trinketed or whatever, but I just have to hope and assume that they
Green
used something
protection.
important to get out of it.
Metamorphosis. Sleepwalk. 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 Metamorphosis. Sleepwalk. The Hunt. Metamorphosis.
Ooh. Big mistake. Must donate Ironbark. Might die. Leaving DPS behind.
Metamorphosis. Sleepwalk. Sleepwalk.
This is pretty deep dampening. It's 56%. I don't have a lot left though.
Sleepwalk. The Hunt.
We tried. Bam is stuck in my head. I can barely even hear it anymore. I turned it. Did I turn it all the way off? Like, I know I put it on my dialogue sound. Do I have dialogue sound off? Is that my problem? I do. That's what happened. So if I turn the Bam's gonna come back now. It might not be loud, but it should be back. Maybe it'll be loud. That might be good. H. Belden, thank you very much for the 40-month resub. Much love and happiness to Kira, Moose, and you. Thank you very, very much. Okay, we got a couple rounds
Nullifying
left.
Shroud. Nullifying Shroud. Metamorphosis.
As long as the match
Icy Veins.
finishes at this point.
Sleepwalk. Nullifying Shroud. The Hunt.
Alright, we're playing this game.
Sleepwalk. Metamorphosis. Nullifying Shroud. Sleepwalk. Dream Projection.
I usually don't like being trained because I find it's difficult. Even when you can live for a while, it's difficult to concentrate when you've got someone hitting on you. It has a tendency to make me panic.
Sleepwalk. 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 The Hunt. Metamorphosis. Polly. Polly.
I wish I knew who our DPS were on, because everybody is
Sleepwalk.
suspiciously at 100% health.
Sleepwalk. Icy Veins. Metamorphosis. Sleepwalk.
Is that the Bastion bell ringing band? Ascended Council is a, I want to say daily, but now I think now I'm second guessing myself. Does it make up for not getting a love rocket? Not in the slightest. Got the 16k gold cash, yeah. I'm sorry about your love rocket year. Hopefully next year.
Nullifying Shroud. Nullifying Shroud. Metamorphosis. The Hunt. Nullifying Shroud. Metamorphosis. Ascendance.
I don't wanna be trained.
Find Shroud.
It's not fun. If they're gonna do it, I at least want them to get punished for it.
Sleepwalk. Metamorphosis. Dream projection. Sleepwalk. Sleepwalk. The Hunt. Metamorphosis.
Nice. We managed it. We lived long enough. Oh. Accepted that my mental would be best if I don't chase after the love rocket and the mob world bosses. Alright. Let's look at our percentage. Oh. %. Alright. Maybe one more, most likely two more. I should check and see. I didn't check the weekly quest to see if there's like a proving solo or anything. But we've been really lucky in that even when we've been kind of going half and half, it has been half and half and not like proving. No, no proving solo. Okay. Mob World bosses are just 1%. It's true, but like, if I told you that they made the love rocket easier to get this year, does that help? Does it make you feel any better? If it doesn't matter like how high a drop rate is, if it's not dropping for you, if RNG is being rough on you and you feel like it's better for your overall well-being to just not worry about it, then it doesn't matter how you should have had it by now. If they haven't tried it since it was like a 1 in 5,000 chance or whatever, then yeah, absolutely, I would give it another good farm. But 1% is still takes some real doing. Yeah, no, I agree. You're right. I was just trying to illustrate a point. I'm convinced the Mountain Stratholm doesn't drop after 197 attempts. Yeah, that one can be really rude. I've heard of a lot of people getting that one from the Quantum Courser instead, because I think a lot of people were just missing that from their collections. I wonder if I look at Mount Drill Enhanced stats, if I look at, for example, Sharkbait, the mount that I don't have from Freehold that I've been farming, owned by 13.29% of players. Rivendare's Death Charger, which has been out way longer, owned by 14.4. So a few more people have Rivendares, but it's been around for so much longer. Sharkbait. Ooh ha ha. Jumped back in. We are at 97%. Maybe I need those handworms. It's been cold in here today. Yeah, so far I'm very, very happy. I just bought like a random Amazon brand. I didn't shell out for like any particular brand name. So far seems good. Mount Journal Enhanced shows you cool stuff about the mounts. There used to be a Pet Journal Enhanced. Unless it's been revived, it died. Ceased working at a certain point. I dropped it in favor of actually, you know what? Maybe it was okay and it was just... Why did I drop it? I dropped it in favor of Rematch, but I thought it was because it wasn't working, but now that I'm saying it, I'm not 100% sure. I would hate to... I would hate to say something that's not true on stream. Rematch 10's better. I think I'm running both. Yeah, because I used to use it. I used Pet Journal Enhanced for years. Rogue Warrior, Afflock, and a Windwalker. Lots of melee today. Oh. Alright, well that doesn't do anything. Someone was unhappy with the comp, I guess. rematch in pet scripts. Yeah. I think so too, but I think it would be valid for somebody that likes pet battles to not use pet scripts and to maybe not import rematch teams, because if part of the game, like, I won't deny that importing a strat and then attaching a script from Zufus and then just running that, I will not deny to you that that is entirely bypassing the minigame of pet battles. It is way more time efficient. It is faster if you are using pet battles as a mean to earn rewards. There is not a better thing you can do. But if somebody actually like gets a kick out of like trying to come up with a team, then I could see a world where they would maybe use rematch to store their teams and to save their teams and maybe save their own notes about teams, but not like import stuff. I think that's valid. Also, with mount drops, there's been a few times where I've had rare mounts drop in batches of 2. One mount from a raid, went to go another raid, got a second rare mount. Hazel, what are you holding? I got some USB hand warmers, little electric hand warmers to try to keep my fingies toastier. What nerds do that? They've done that before. Good stable of pets. Yeah, I totally agree, Karama. For the achievements, I feel like it's a bit different because like it's kind of fun to come up with a team for an achievement strat. And then you know you only need it to work once, so it's not like that big of a deal. This is such a cute pet. It's not that big of a deal. Okay, it's named Weenuswaddle. But I don't think I've ever seen that. It's a Mechanostrider with like pink and blue and stuff. That's awesome. And then they got the rare owl pet. This hunter. Don't you have to have like a mythic for rat kill to tame that owl pet? Like on your account? Interesting. Cyberwolf, thank you for the 53-month resub. Thank you very much. You could just hold recharging battery packs. You could. It seems to be a very similar form of technology. You can use these as backup batteries for your phone. These double as battery banks. It's very unusual for my phone to get below like 80%, so it hasn't happened to me in a while, but it would work. Might be handy for camping.
Power infusion.
Oh, you're not trinketing. Oh, you should have. Oh, I've been there so many times. I was like so impressed. I was like, oh, they're so confident. Dead monk. Oh, it's about to happen to me. Discovered how to get the flame owl. Thought it was the secret finding Discord. Hadn't figured it out. Kill mythic Farak on a hunter. Get an item. I was wondering if you have to kill it on a hunter or if you just kill it once in your account if your hunter can then get the item. Quite bummed yesterday. Could have sworn I was going to get the Lego on my warrior. Scene 3 drop. When's my time? I heard that they've made it happen more. I've heard that they're making the embers drop more often or something.
Power infusion. Bound. Down.
I don't like the split business. Oh, we're in trouble. Big trouble. Trouble with a capital T. Trouble in River City. What?
Bound.
Okay. Wish I could get the owl. If Echo's gonna be able to boost. Limit was doing it for 15 mil. I know somebody who bought that. Praying I'll loot them out in our first rack. Yeah, I was trying to quote the Music Man, but I actually haven't seen it in a million years, so I don't know if it was Trouble in River City. It's Trouble in something city. There's definitely trouble at the beginning of the Music Man. Is there a good film adaptation of that one, or do I need to find a performance if I want to watch it again?
Power infusion.
Ooh, okay. Oh, thanks. I actually needed to be over there. Appreciate it, Death Knight. That was a good... Oh, no, that's over. Oh yeah, yeah, they've definitely had a frat kill. They've either bought one or they're just part of a big guild on a... Oh, looks good. It's a great looking mount. That's my monk and that's my hunter. That's my monk and that's my hunter. Alright, go forth. Be brave. Do big things. Hit somebody.
Power infusion. Power infusion.
Target's dead. I like this color of hair on Night Elves. The light teal. I know it's kind of like a porta potty blue, but like it's just I like that color. It's a good one. I wonder if it's a Death Knight that's trucking so much.
Power infusion.
It is Tony Dance. I didn't know why you said that in chat, and then I just now looked at the player names. That's funny. Kill the Siphon. Kill the Siphon, thank you.
Penitence. 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 Bound.
Darn it. Trouble. Spooky. Okay, you got it. You gotta come see me. You gotta come into my office. Thank you. And now you, sir. I feel like a turtle and sir. And or ma'am. I haven't been formally introduced. Nope. Toast. Hi Hazel and chat. Happy Wednesday. Hello Nelson. How you doing? Yeah, no, Mythic Raider for sure does not mean Gladiator. They're sometimes you will get people that do both, but they are very different skill sets that are often not at all transferable. I need a win.
Power infusion.
That's us, Priest Burst. My hunter is like too far away for me to actually heal them. You see, they're on a different pillar playing a different game here. There we go. Couple hots for you. Have a nice lunch.
Penitence.
Nope. Darn it. I did not scrape that one. No progress for me. I just reclaimed Gilneas. Nice. You know you can get 2 seeds in the waiting area before the game starts, so the next time you swiftbend, you get a treat. That's cool. Reminded me, I need to eat lunch. Yeah, I hadn't thought of that. Going to have 2 seeds for lunch? Single almonds? Nah. Something good for lunch. I ate avocado toast for breakfast. I gotta make another loaf of bread today because I'm completely out of bread. My sourdough starter got hungry, so I'm feeding it now. I've given it its spa day, which is where I feed my sourdough starter, and then I let it sit in the Instant Pot on the yogurt setting to be like nice and toasty, so it like really gets off to a good start. And then I do the artisan dough cycle in my bread machine, which is like 5 hours worth of like kneading and rising times, and then I bake it. And that is my perfect, laziest possible way to make sourdough. Because people talk about how sourdough is so easy and so hands-off, and you just stretch and fold a couple times and leave it for like 2 days. And they have yet to try out my life where I do it with like a button. Bread machine, I need one. It's my favorite appliance, but they are controversial. Not everybody likes them. They will not make the same bread that you could make by hand. But if you weren't making bread by hand anyways for myriad reasons, you can make fresh bread at home with an appliance that you program, much like a coffee maker. I like it very much. And I've been workshopping my sourdough bread machine thing. Took a pasta making class last month. So much fresh pasta as of late. Enjoy making bread, doing a starter, too much work for me. The thing I like about starter is that it's fairly forgiving. A lot of the articles will be like, you must feed exactly this amount at exactly this ratio after this many hours, and if you're late, it gets sad. And it's like true that it'll go like really well if you do it exactly like a science, but they're very resilient things. Look at this person pinging like this is our pillar.
Bound.
Sourdough starters are really resilient. You can, assuming that it doesn't get like moldy, which I've never really seen that happen. You can forget about it for a while, especially in the fridge. You can kind of bring it back. You can revive one that's been hungry. Like, they really take a dramatic amount of neglect before they're like completely not usable anymore. People have done incredible things bringing them back. I've also gotten a little looser about like my ratios for feeding it. Like, I still use the scale so I can kind of eyeball like a 1-to-1-to-1 of starter to flower to water, and that seems to work fine. But before I was doing 1 to 0.5 to 0.5 because I just misunderstood the chart, and that worked fine too. It seems like as long as you're feeding it like flour and water, sometimes it's gonna be alive and it's gonna work and it's gonna make bread. It's gonna be delicious. They are not as complicated as people make them out to be, or they don't have to be as complicated as people make them out to be. They can be. You have a kick, but you have not used it on me.
Avatar.
Oh, thanks. Friend just busted me out of my airstrip.
Bound. Avatar.
What do you mean it gets hungry? I don't know much about sourdough. So it's like a living yeast culture, and it feeds on flour. It feeds on flour. So by adding fresh flour combined with water to it, that gives that yeast culture food so that it continues doing its yeast culture thing, which is producing gas. I want to say carbon dioxide, but that's what makes the bubbles, and that's also what makes the bread rise. It will happen faster in the presence of warmth up to a certain amount. It will happen slower when it's cold, so you can kind of put it into like dormancy by keeping it in the fridge, and then it won't need to eat as often because it'll take longer to process the stuff that you give it. But yeah, feeding a starter just means adding flour and water to it. And then usually like you'll discard some so that you don't end up with like ever increasing amounts of starter.
Sleepwalk. Dragon range.
That'll work. Like having a colony of yeast as a pet. A pet that you can use to make bread. You have to burp it? No, not really. Mostly burps on its own. Maybe that's like a more advanced technique or something more niche. Like punching down bread or something. Pandora monks are actually cool. But you can start them off of like a piece of somebody else's starter when they discard it, or you can start a starter completely from scratch if you have a little bit of time and patience. That's what I did. It took about 2 weeks for it to get like fully on board, but if you just have like flour and water, and then you just keep changing some out regularly, and you keep it at room temperature, after a couple of weeks, it will develop a colony of yeast because some of it's in the air, some of it's on the flour.
Range.
Rye flour in particular tends to have a lot of natural yeast, so people recommend using that to like start off a colony. Can I cycle in the smoker? I can't. Look at that.
Sleepwalk.
Oh, that's not where I meant to be. So, That's my mage. That's my hunter. That's a warrior. Pay attention a little bit. I've been kind of glazed over playing, which is good if you're trying to just grind something out because it makes it a little bit easier to tolerate queuing a lot if you're not paying as much attention, but it does mean you're gonna win less. So it looks like they're on the, well, who knows?
Avatar.
Are they not trending when they could be?
Avatar.
Oh, that'll do. Oh yeah. I never keep it in a completely airtight container because you're right. It's gonna give off gas that could build up and create a pressure environment. I just put like a cloth over mine. I use fabric and then I'll use like an elastic or a piece of twine to tie the fabric on. Or it doesn't happen as often in the fridge because it's producing slower. But yeah, you want to take it out every now and then. I can see chat. I haven't given Wrath a chance. No, I haven't played any Wrath Classic. I played Wrath back then. I had enough of it.
Avatar.
Can I really like just like CCing you on your cooldowns? Because I see that you've already trinketed, so it would be really enjoyable to me if I could just kind of like clone you 3 times and then maybe root you. I would get a big kick out of that. Alright, so mistake number 1, lining your healer.
Polly. Polly.
And sometimes, yes, your healer's fallen behind, but no matter whether or not you agree with where they're standing, they can't heal you if they are not next to you. But we lived, we made it, we made it. That's swords. Swords over.
Polly.
Oh, that was a fast cast. I broke them. That works. Use cheesecloth to cover my starter. You don't miss doing 3 hours of PvP in Icecrown doing dailies? I was never on a PvP server. I used to do Argent Tournament dailies in Icecrown. Okay, we got our 3 wins. What do you do with the starter? You use some of it in a recipe when you're making bread, and because it has this living yeast culture in it, you can use it to make the bread rise instead of using packaged yeast, or sometimes you'll use some of both, depending on what your recipe's like. But it's like an old-fashioned way of making bread before they had like packaged active dry yeast. You would keep a live culture of yeast in your bread, or you would keep a live culture of yeast on hand so that you could make your bread rise and make it fluffy and delicious. It also tends to have a nice flavor. I guess it's subjective, but I like the flavor of sourdough.
Dragon Range.
That is given, it's basically a light fermentation. TNE, thanks for the read. Welcome, readers. Hope you had a delightful, wonderful Wednesday stream. I am shuffling. I'm trying to get my vicious mount. I'm really close. I just need a couple of wins. Assuming that nobody leaves this match, this will be one of them.
Polly.
Oh. I messed up.
Sleepwalk.
I'm being greedy. Real greedy. Very greedy. Okay. Alright, we're feeling better. Ho 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 ho. 7% away from the mount. Nice. So close to getting all the mounts from the Argent Tournament. Just need to build up the motivation to do the final push. I like to make a no-knead overnight bread. Hint of sourdough taste. Doesn't require keeping a starter around. Yeah, I started to experiment with similar things where you do kind of like a starter sponge or a poolish or a biga, depending on if you're French or Italian or fancy. And then just like, they kind of ferment on their own for X amount of time, like 4 hours, 6 hours overnight. And I like those a lot. I like any bread that's got a little bit of character to it. I'm not a big fan of just like plain white bread, even though it's extremely easy to make. I like it. I want it to have a little flavor, and I like the chewiness that you get from like a nice sourdough. Or a country bread, as they say.
Polly. Polly.
This is a really unnecessary cyclone. Their whole team's at full health.
Polly.
You just have to hope that we traded some cooldowns for it. It's the best you can really do.
Polly.
Alright. Hey, that was enough! That did it! Look, it's a vicious moon beast! Oh, you're into that. I did it. 100% in solo shuffle. Whimpers and celiac. Oh, I'm so sorry. Garlic baked into the bread. I do that for my pizza crust. My pizza crust has garlic and rosemary baked right into it, and it's real good. So it's to my taste, anyways. The beautiful thing about home cooking is you get to make food that you want. Oh, let's go look at it. It feels like it's been years, but I know in actuality it's been like, what, 2 weeks of PvP streams? Maybe at most. So we got some conquests we can buy another. We can buy the corkscrew that goes with the bottle opener. Now your druid can take a nap. Yeah, unless I want to grind another 1,000 rating and then 11 more wins, which I might. I wouldn't put it past me. I wonder if the season rating will inflate a little bit at the very end, as people like kind of come back to kind of finish off season farms. If that might make it easier, I don't know. It might be just wishful thinking. Do I have any extra? Yeah, I can buy another couple marks of honor too. Had no snow here in Minnesota this winter. Have you got much in Canada? I can't speak for most of the country, but here in Victoria, BC, we had one good snowfall. It lasted a couple of days, like maybe a half a week. Maybe a week, and then it was gone, and then we've had like a little bit of snow since, but nothing that really stuck. It's been a very mild winter, snow-wise. Is it time to celebrate by slapping Harlan for a bird? Oh, here, let's look at the mount, and then I need to take a short break, and then we shall figure out what we're going to do with the rest of our day. Let me see here. Mounts. Moon Beast. Vicious Moon Beast. Owned by 0.76% of players, according to oh hey, set favor to that one too. According to Data for not Data for Azeroth. It used to say data supplied by Rarity Raider. They updated the add-on to take that credit out. So I wonder if they get their data from somewhere else, or if they just decided not to not to say. CT still a snow on the ground after a week. Normally melts faster. Hardly any snow here in New Brunswick, but 6 hours away in Nova Scotia, they got hit with 160 centimeters in a weekend. Ugh. Here he's dropping parrots today. Buried in snow on the East Coast. Love the owlbear bottles. I think this is a really cute vicious mount. Does it have a backpack? It has a bedroll and a backpack on the back of it. It's got more backpacks over here. This thing has storage. You got room for your goodies. Mount's cool, PvP isn't. Yeah. I got 76 marks of honor. I'm gonna send those to my hunter so she can go shopping. Send mail to Valeria. Cool. Don't like the helm, you can't see the cute face. Yeah. That's true, it does kind of cover the whole face, but you get the big fluffy owlbear butt. Tough getting through doors. There is an AOTC mount. It is ugly. How could you? How could you? How could you? How could you? Excuse. Oh, hang on. Mine's not even on it. Let's go to the rostrum for a second. Let me go look at it. I was about to defend the honor of the renewed Proto-Drake skin, and I don't even have it equipped. I went there. Listen, ugly is in the eye of you. Talk about my Proto-Drake like that. Oh dear. Let me see. Full transformation. So there's Shadow Flame. I honestly think the Shadow Flame one, which is the OTC, is a little prettier than the Farak one, but I like wearing this one more because it's rarer. Not as many people have this, so it's more of like a flex. And then there's the Razageth one too, which is kind of cool. Defend Frank's honor. There's Shadow Flame Frank. Yeah, this one's prettier, IMO. Maybe just because it's got more pink in it. But let's throw that one on. Yeah, I think the Razageth one's a little bit more... It's a little cooler. Alright, I am going to take a short break, and then when I come back we'll find something else to do, but I feel so good. We finished the Vicious Mount grind before Self-Found came out, because we got 1 week left before Hardcore Classic comes out with Self-Found mode, and I am very excited to be all in on that, so I'm glad that I got this sorted out. Katie Cat, do you want to stream for a minute while I'm gone? BRB. Alright, what are we saying here? Alright, kitty seatbelt. Oh? See? Cat stabilization. Free of charge. Forgot it's time walking week, got a few wealth to level. Been a little tired of Dragonflight leveling. Your cat's so cute. Thank you. I know. My sugar bun. I'm real lucky. I have the best pets. She's just a sweet muffin. And then I have a big puppy. And he's a sweet tornado muffin. Alright. Thinking of the Mythic Plus now. Now that one is ugly. Yeah, I'll give you that one. Don't get me wrong. I like it too because I earned it and because Jeff's not wrong. Anything that somebody else calls ugly, I will defend just on principle. But... yeah, the armor readings are pretty wild. It's so frustrating to me that I got this to 39 to 50. If it was below half, if it was under 25, I would be like, nah, it's never gonna happen. I think I have to do that off stream. I think that if I try and do it on stream, I'm gonna be too tilted and possibly too distracted. And I'm never gonna finish it. But when am I gonna do it off stream? Well, actually, the thing I've been playing off stream for fun in my own time has been Elden Ring, and that also is a frustrating game. So maybe if I need a break from Elden Ring, I can do some solo shuffle instead and try to finish that achievement. The reward is the Battle Mender title. I've never had it before, so I'm very curious to get it and see if it's something that sticks around after the season. My friends have been into Enshrouded. I did not watch the trailer for the Elden Ring DLC. I'm pretty early in the game still. I am, two official bosses deep. So I'm not feeling ready to, like, see anything new. Plus, whenever I used to play Dark Souls DLCs, they used to be hard. Like, harder than the thing already was. Yeah, Soulsborne full tilt boogie all around. It's a good opportunity to practice your composure, I guess. Like, because obviously it's not anything that, like, is worthy of getting upset about, but it's just an inherently frustrating thing. So if you're looking to practice the skill of being in a frustrating situation and just regrounding yourself and keeping it in context, it is a perfect training mode for that. I think that if you play an awful lot of Soulsborne games, you're going to come out either extremely angry or extremely zen, based on how well you apply yourself. I think the rumors are true. I think I'm going into Freehold. At least for 10 lockouts worth. DS2 DLC guides were so useful. Thank you. That means a lot. I don't know why I'm so proud of having made Dark Souls guides a million years ago for functionally nobody. I used to, like, edit the wiki to try to, like, get my guide pinned on the pages. Didn't work great. It worked okay sometimes. It depends on if there was anybody else that was, like, fighting you for the spot. Oh, man. But those were the days. I both love and hate games like that because like I was fighting the first boss of Elden Ring, like the first major boss, Margit, and I was like a bunch of wipes into it because he's hard, and also I now realize that I maybe went for him a little under leveled and maybe I hadn't found all the mechanics in the game yet, so I didn't have like a bunch of stuff that could have helped. But I was pulling him. It was like 11 o'clock at night, one of my days off, and I'm like, this is awful. I hate it. I'm not having fun. This is not a nice time. And my partner's like, so are you going to go to bed? And I'm like, no. That's not what I said. Does not make me a very nice person. Okay, we're going to Freehold. We're going to Freehold. We get to Freehold by going to Boralus first. Which one are you? Yeah. Done with Palworld? I didn't beat the game. There's more Palworld left for me to play, but I have been playing Elden Ring instead, so I might have to circle back to it eventually. Wig is so green. Is it warm? About the same as any of the other ones. All the wigs seem to be the same. It's basically like wearing a hat. I wouldn't say it's any warmer or colder than wearing just a hat. It's like 10% itchier, but, you know, the price we pay for glamour. We're after Boralus. That's the way. I have Dark Souls, Elden Ring on Steam. Maybe I should make that my gamer girl mission. Okay, good. Soulsborne games. It's nice because it's very much a you, yourself, and I kind of situation, and they're nice because they're RPGs, so if anything is truly too hard, you can always go back to other content that you're more comfortable in the game, and then farm that until your level is higher and you have a better shot against the thing that you were stuck on. Like, there's always a thing you can do. But sometimes you get stubborn because you're like, I know I can kill this. I know I can do it. I almost did it that one time 12 polls ago. And then you can end up in the hole. I did have the feeling of when I was working on that, when I was playing and I was like, you know, fighting this boss this many times, trying to get good enough to beat it. I had this notion of like, man, if I applied myself like this in other areas of my life, I could really fix a lot of my problems that stress me out. And I also had the thought of, what is this skill for? I'm working so hard to gain a skill that is going to be useful for this fight and this fight only, that I will likely not do again until, like, very many times in my overall life. On some level, this is a monumental waste of an incredible amount of mental effort, coming from somebody that does not put out mental effort very often anymore. I've gotten real cozy. Is it a good practice at getting outside your comfort zone, or are you just fooling yourself that you're trying hard at something so that you don't have to try hard at the things that are actually scary in your life? Dungeon difficulty mythic. There we go. Your pet is taller than you. Yeah. Oh, From Software games are not that hard? What a brave take. Anybody got a sticker? We're very impressed. Good gamer sticker for Cash. There it is. Feel the same way about making curveball throws in Pokemon Go. When am I ever going to use that skill? I forgot about the curveball throws.
Watch your step. Watch your feet.
Playing WoW for 15 years now. Never like any other game. Am I crazy? No. Not at all. This is the only game that I've played for this long. Nothing else has stuck with me for this amount of time in my life.
Watch your step.
But beating the fight is worth it. Yeah, sometimes it is.
Shockwave.
I don't know if... I'm assuming Last
Watch
Epoch
your
is a
step.
game. I've not heard of it. I don't have plans to play it.
Watch
Please
your
don't call me
feet.
babe. What am I, pig? Baram you. Sister Coyote, thank you for the 16-month resub. Hello. Hello. Only game I played longer than WoW at SimCity. GP, true. Doing massive on Steam. I played Palworld. That was the last thing that was massive on Steam. I'm mostly a WoW main. I am mostly a WoW no-lifer. I also really want to watch the movie Babe again, and I couldn't find a way to buy it. Was that true, or did I just not want to buy it yet? I think it was streaming on some service that I didn't have. I have not been playing Enshrouded. I have it purchased. It's waiting for the perfect rainy day. There's going to be a time in my life when I'm going to be like, this is the time for me to get into Enshrouded. And I'm sure I'll have a wonderful time with it then, but I'm just not ready. I'm too into other stuff right now. Only babe I know is the pig from the 90s movie. Yeah! Yep, that's... Yep.
Phase 2. Phase 3.
Director of Mad Max, George Miller, also directed Babe. Any luck? Attempt number 191. I cannot say no dice because I did get dice, but I did not get the mail. Let's go try 192. Haven't thought about that movie in years. Core memory unlocked. I watched the trailer for it. I found the trailer online and I watched that again. And every part of that trailer just made me feel like I was a child again. I loved that movie. Although, like with Charlotte's Web, I don't remember how much of this there was in Babe. Any movie about cute, sentient farmyard animals that have some amount of fear about whether or not they're going to be butchered and eaten is a little bit scary. It still makes me kind of uncomfortable. Wild how different movies a director can have under their belt. Yeah, different movies directed by the same person. I always have that feeling whenever I see a good actor in two projects that are completely different as like a completely different character, and I'm like, wait a second, that was the same actor, and it blows my mind because the concept of actors like acting is just bananas to me. Spooky Snack, thank you for the 48-month resub. Good morning from down under. Have a fab day. Thank you very, very much. Have a wonderful Thursday. Yeah, I saw Homeward Bound. At least the first one. I also rewatched it, I think last year maybe? I rewatched it as an adult. And I mainly enjoyed Sassy. I was very concerned when I thought we lost her. Charlotte's Web is a bit heartbreaking. Love that spider. Yeah, I think it was one of the first movies that made me cry as a kid. There was a book too. I think I might be unwilling to watch Charlotte's Web again. Maybe I should, but I don't know if I want to. Traumatizing. First book that made me cry. The Brave Little Toaster was the movie that made me cry as a kid. Do you have any go-to movies that no matter how many times you've seen them, you cry every single time? Like you know it's coming, and that's maybe kind of why you're watching the movie? It used to be Titanic for me, but I haven't watched it in a really long time, and also I feel like I'm less sympathetic towards the characters now. And now it's Encanto. I've seen Encanto a handful of times, and it has elicited ugly tears from me. Not just like a cute little single tear on the cheek that makes you look all adorable to your date, like ugly crying every single time. The last time I watched Encanto, like the really emotional part made me ugly cry, but I was also just like crying a little bit through the rest of the movie because I was just like, I felt so much for all these people that were just trying to do their best for their family. Toy Story 3. Our Times. 10 Things I Hate About You. That was a cute one. I liked that movie. Watership Down for me. I'm trying to get the Freehold mount, Sharkbait. I don't know if a movie ever made me cry. Don't watch Marley and Me then. Yeah. Anything, I know there's like some kind of a website that tells you whether or not the dog dies in the movie. Anything with dogs and cats that don't make it is going to be tough for me. I don't know if that's what happens in Marley and Me, but any movie with an animal is suspect. Austin Powers, I'm crying because it's so funny. I wanted to watch Air Bud. Don't judge me. I wanted to watch Air Bud. And I looked it up, and it's Disney's Air Bud, and it's not on Disney Plus, and I want to know why. I want to watch a movie about a golden retriever or something playing basketball, and it's like by Disney, and I want to know why they don't have it, because I desired to watch it, and what am I paying for Disney Plus for if I can't watch Air Bud on a whim? I know they also made like a lot of other movies with different sports, and I can't watch those either. They also don't have those. I'd have to buy them, and I'm not that committed to my desire to watch Air Bud. But I wanted to watch the basketball one. There's no rules saying a dog can't play. Sports kid movies like Mighty Duck. They have Mighty Ducks on D+, and I might watch that, maybe. I don't know. I feel like the Vault kind of died when they had their streaming service, and I feel like they have problematic movies on Disney Plus. They just put like a little warning up being like, hey, we no longer stand by these values, enjoy the movie. Something has to be like really quite egregious for them to not show it anymore. Because Bud wanted too much in royalties. Just Watch says it's on D+, Air Bud that is. It wasn't, I mean, it wasn't on mine when I looked. Maybe they have country licensing. Maybe it's not on Canadian D+. Maybe I should look again. Maybe it's changed in the last week. Wonder if it's on Amazon. Yeah, maybe. I don't usually follow Eurovision, no. Amazon is a weird mix of movies. I don't usually watch movies on Prime anymore because it's too confusing as to what... Like, some things are included with Prime, and then some things are, like... I don't know. It's... They mix the shopping and the free streaming sections all together in a way that feels not fun to navigate. I don't want to, like, look and be like, oh, hey, this is on Prime, and then be like, oh, you want me to rent it? I would like those... It's not that I don't rent movies digitally, I do, but I want that to be separate. What am I looking for? I'm looking to go to Freehold. I can do that with a portal on this character. Not Gus Gus the Mouse. Not Cinderella. TV shows, on the other hand, quite a few. Problem I have with Prime as well, I give up. Gus the goal-kicking mule. Now, Prime, when it comes to Twitch subs, still lets you redeem goodies for games and give a sub every month to the streamer of your choice without any extra fee. See, look, I did the thing. Are we on Mythic? Yeah, we are. There we go. Country licensing and Netflix is annoying. Yeah. And people will tell you that you can work around it with a VPN, and that is true, but not everybody wants to work around it with a VPN. Cute hair? Why, thank you. I did get my vicious mount. I suppose I could update my stream title, but I could also just leave it here so people ask me, and then I can go, yes, I did. I'm very happy that I got it in, it took about 2 hours. Because some days I needed 11% when I started the stream, and some days I would stream for 3 hours and I would get like maybe 12, so I'm happy with that. Actually not sure where my Prime sub is right now. I am awful. I haven't given my Prime sub to anybody in ages because I'll think of it, but I'll think of it when I see somebody streaming. And I like to give my Prime sub to people when they're not live because I don't want them to... It's not that I don't want them to know. It's that I don't want a big thing, you know? Especially because, like, usually I'll just drop a Prime sub and then I'll, like, leave. Like, I don't hang out in the stream because I'm awful. And the last thing I want is to, like, give somebody a Prime sub and have people be like, oh, hey, it's Hazel! How's it going? I'm so excited you watched the stream! And then I'm, like, just ghosted. You know? So I'll often, or I used to, try and find a time when said streamer was not streaming, and it would be a few different ones, but I would try to find a time when they were not streaming so I could just like sneak it to them, because you can sub when somebody's offline. You can subscribe without alerts. Launch D+, Air Bud is there, maybe limited in Canada. I will look later because I want to watch it. This is important. You don't want to get the call out. And you could probably put in your message that you don't want the call out. I think even if you sub without an alert, your streamer would still see it in their activity feed. I don't know. We don't have a season end date yet. No, not yet. No, ma'am. Show is only available on Hulu. Yeah. I've never in my life had it. Daughter was into Spooky Buddies. Halloween themed spin-off with costume puppies. I've seen there's a lot of Buddies movies. My Disney Plus has the Buddies movies. It has like Snow Buddies and presumably Spooky Buddies. I don't remember what else the Buddies did. I think they might have played some sports too. But I watched a trailer and the talking puppies really freaked me out. So I ended up not watching it. Space buddies. Oh, kitty. You're good. I got you. You must watch Airpod Whispers. I bet he would watch it. He will sit up on the couch and watch like movies and shows with us, or he'll watch me play games, which is the cutest thing in the world. I will sit and like play, you know, Elden Ring or Palworld or whatever, and he used to be really into Palworld in particular. He would like walk right up to the screen and like try to nose boop the pals, or he'll just like cuddle with me on the couch and just kind of like watch me play, like watch the screen. I don't know what it is he's getting out of it because he is a dog, but it's cute. We're going to Freehold, and we're also gonna do some shopping maybe. Any PvP sets that might be kind of cool. Let's look at appearances, sets. Make sure we're filtered to PvP sets. And then in the old expansions, maybe we'll just like look and see if we can find anything that we might like to wear. Might buy like a battle season set. That might be kind of cool. We bought a bunch of Legion ones. That's WoD. That's kind of cool. You've got a very deep V-top. I might put that in with something. I remember that one. Because we could do a little bit of shopping. And then the really old ones. Let's go to... I mean, we're going to be in Borellis anyway, so let's go see if we can buy any sets. Our dog freaks every time a doorbell rings on TV. Sometimes, once there was like a dog woof sound, I think, and Moose like looked at the TV and then he went to look behind the TV, which I thought was incredibly funny. Because normally like he'll kind of bark at like when the TV is off and you can sort of see like a dim reflection of a dog in it. He used to kind of like get defensive about that and go, woof, I don't know that dog, that's suspicious, woof. And but he never looked behind the TV in that case. At this time he was like, wait, where is the dog? Is it back here? But there's also a mirror in our front room that is like full length, so there's also a mirror on his level. And while he is suspicious of TV Dog, he has made friends with Mirror Dog, which is incredibly funny because sometimes he'll just like go sit in front of it and like watch it. And I've seen him like nose boop himself and like lick the mirror. There's a big spot where he's licked it because he's greeting his Mirror Dog friend. Borellis. Could he would do that with Cat TV, search for the squirrel behind the TV. Cat has tried several times to attack my dragon while I'm flying. When my brother was a toddler, he'd get excited when I played Animal Crossing. Asked me ever so often to play fish so he could watch. Aww. Alrighty. Yeah, let's not promote torrenting. That's illegal. Let's not do that. I'm looking for PvP vendors. Oh, that's right. They're in a funny place. Cute videos of my sister's cat spawning the screen while I'm playing WoW, back when he was the size of a WoW plushie. Aww. I have a photo of Kira kind of like that, where she was, before she lost her vision, she was sitting on my desk looking at my screen, putting a paw up to try to tap my... I had a shaman and she had a lightning shield up and she was like trying to swat the lightning shield. I'm awful at this. I never remember. This looks right. But then there's just like a bunch of people in here and it's not most of them. You've got profession stuff. You also have profession stuff. I do enjoy how this NPC talks about how the dwarf who took my spot seems to know a thing or two, because I guess he used to stand here and then the season passed and they moved him. I enjoyed that Leiden Gustaf is forever petty about that. That's fun. Those are call to arms quests. You are an innkeeper who also sells stuff, which is tricky. Trixie. We're not buying a weapon arsenal, although we could, and then we would just be done. They're nice, like, alliance-themed weapons. But we're not going to do that. 9 of 17 of that set. Oh, do I have that set? No, I like it. It's a recolor of the Najatar stuff with, like, the starfish on your face. I think that's cute. Let's just buy all of these.
We are bound by a common enemy.
so much, Transmog. Happy. 22 marks left.
No time for dallying.
So those are all done now. One more? Yeah. 2 more. I only have 22 marks, so maybe I'll get this set. Cause it's different, you know. That's how I would describe that, as different.
Remember that the beast in the shadows might be your salvation.
Wish I was stacked with marks of honor to buy transmog, but can't expect to have them when I don't PvP. Some people will grind out. Jeff can probably tell you about grinding them out in Comp Stomp. I'm pretty sure he gets way more than me for doing something that is only marginally PvP adjacent for the sake of transmog. Alright, we're looking for a dragon riding mount. And that's in a few weeks. Maybe I should actually try it. No, a few weeks is going to be... I was going to say, you guys could probably bully me into actually trying it. I might be curious enough. But if I'm playing hardcore self-found still, then there's not a chance. There's no way. I'm going to be having too much fun. I'm happy. I got a bunch of new sets. That is the nice thing about the Vicious Mount grind, is that you can also get a ton of transmog along the way. Working the Argent tournament is a slow grind. It's the most boring thing ever. Super fast marks, especially early in the week. Mind numbing did get some marks. Okay. Like it for classes and specs I don't normally play. Dungeon difficulty mythic. Very good. Alrighty, let's go. Let's go try for shark bait. Do you work out? Not as much as I should. I like running. I will go for runs and jogs. I guess the thing I like most is hiking, but I don't do it often enough to be like, yeah, I work out. But hiking and running are both good. How much do you bench?
Watch your step. Interrupt.
I haven't had my my bench flexing area yet. Get back to rock climbing, work on the squeezers. You know, the thing that stops me from doing that, aside from the social anxiety and the membership cost and the fear of injury, those 3 things aside, bouldering shredded my nails. It is not... Keeping a nice manicure and also working it out at the bouldering gym are not compatible things. It turned my nails into just like a pile of onions. Hiking wonderful. Hiking's my favorite because I love being out in the forest. We have beautiful parks here. It's something that keeps, like, I don't feel myself exercising when I'm on a good hike. I'm just like enamored with my surroundings, and you know, you can bring the dog and get the dog some exercise too. And then later when you get home, you're like, oh geez, I'm starving. And then like you go to, it's like bedtime, you're like, oh geez, I'm exhausted. And then you have the best night of sleep in your life. And it's great. I think that hiking probably works me out harder than anything else that I do, and it does it without me ever thinking at any point that I'm exercising. The worst part about hiking is that you have to actually drive your car to get to hiking spots, and I don't do that more often than I absolutely have to because I let my anxiety rule my life. So we're gonna zone out here and sell. Climbing sounds scary. Climbing was also fun and also a good workout, and also one of those things where you're getting really good exercise but you don't notice because you're too worried about like not falling to your death, or not death, but not falling to a vaguely sprained ankle. But yeah, hiking's a lot cheaper than climbing. Have you gone hiking in any mountains? Oh yeah, there's all kinds of mountains, not like tall ones. I'm not doing alpine hiking. I'm not, you know, ice picking my way up Mount Fuji or anything. I don't know if there's snow in Fuji, probably. But like there's lots and lots of local mountains here. And I do that. I wouldn't say all the time, but anytime I get a chance to. Come back to Oregon, start climbing the east face of Hood. It is a crime I didn't hike Mount Hood more. I lived there for like 8 years and I think I did Hood once. And even then, I didn't like go up it or anything. I just kind of hiked around in the lower trails. I just want you to look at some rocks. I want you to find some dalasite. Can you tell me what to keep an eye out for so I would know if I saw it? Because I do spend a decent amount of time, especially if I'm fishing, which I haven't been doing lately. But if I go fishing, I spend lots of time examining my surroundings because, you know, you're fishing, you've got time. And I wouldn't know it if I saw it. I don't remember if I went to Trillium Lake. I can't emphasize to you how much my life in the States consisted of me staying inside. I did not get out very much. I didn't drive. I didn't have a license. And I was, again, anxious and also just kind of homebound. I didn't get out very much. I would walk a lot anywhere that I didn't have to drive to walk. So I would walk at my local parks and on my local streets. And I figured out all the routes around my neighborhood because I didn't have to drive to get there. But anything that required a car was just not realistic. Ever consider what on earth? I don't even want to ask. Never mind. Go fishing a lot as a kid with my dad. Now I feel too bad for fishes. That's fair. Visit Norway. Hike the madness. I'm really lucky we have such amazing hiking here. How did you get over anxiety to drive? I think saying that I got over it is inaccurate because I have a lot of anxiety when I drive. It stops me from going out as often as I probably could or should. But when I do have to, which is sometimes, I mean, it's kind of it's the normal anxiety advice, unfortunately. Part of it's exposure. Part of it is like just deep breathing and keeping in context. Sometimes I like to remind myself, because the worst thing that you can do, that's very easy to do, the worst thing for me that I can do is to start to freak out about the fact that I'm freaking out. Once you get into that vicious circle of I'm anxious, then you're doomed, because that's a one-way street to a panic attack. So whenever I feel anxious, I try to remind myself that this is normal. This is a good sign that I am respecting the road in the situation. It's a good sign that I am going to pay attention. Like I'm anxious because I care about not dying and about not making other people die. And anxiety to some extent can sharpen your reflexes and sharpen your senses and make you pay attention. It's like your body being in fight or flight mode. But at a certain level, that can actually help. And I try to remind myself of that, because even if it's not like strictly 100% true, and there's good roots of truth in there, but even if that's not the case in a given situation, it is much more helpful for me to be like, okay, this is my body trying to help me be careful and pay attention, doing something important. That is going to not lead me to freak out any further than going, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh dear Lord, I'm gonna die. So making some room for the feelings, trying to put them into context and remind them that this is normal, doesn't mean anything's wrong with you. Happens to lots of people. You're not alone in feeling that way. It's not comfortable, but it's something that you can manage and deal with, and then doing some nice deep breathing, and just remember to keep focused on the road. I say that like it sounds easy, but it's still awful. It's no fun. I don't love it. And I, for my part, because of my anxiety, I avoid driving in lots of situations that I don't like the look of. Like, I won't drive downtown. I will just take the bus if I have to go downtown. I will not take a route somewhere that needs me to make an awful lot of like left turns onto busy streets, especially when there's like street parking and you can't see very much. I will go a longer route that is more right turns. I'll kind of like look at a route before I go somewhere to kind of get a feel for where the turns are, and is there a turn lane? Is there an advanced turn signal? How long do you have to make lane changes? Like, I'll scope all of that out, because knowing ahead of time makes me feel better. It's extra, but that's what I do. Yeah, that's true. Anxiety can be exhausting. There's not much you can do about it, though. Like, people will say, oh man, this is bad for you. Being this stressed is not good for you. And you're like, yeah, I know, thanks. That makes me feel less stressed. Yeah. This is Mount Runs. Mount Runs. Tried exposure. Partner does not drive, has a license, refuses to use it. Yeah, you can't make people do stuff. It doesn't usually go well. If they don't want to, then that's... I don't know. Maybe there's ways to help, but I wouldn't know them. I can barely make myself do stuff, and that's me. Sometimes my anxiety is so bad when I'm driving that I cry the whole way to where I need to go. Oh, man. Miles out of the way to avoid traffic circles. I actually like traffic circles better than some things because the rules are straightforward. I don't like really complicated ones with a ton of lanes. For those ones, I like to know in advance which lane I'm supposed to be in to get out where I need to go. But yield to traffic in the circle that is already in the circle is more reasonable to me because at least you can see it coming. The thing I hate is when you're yielding to stuff that you can't properly see. And there's a lot of, at least in the city that I live, there's a lot of narrow streets. There's a lot of streets that have street parking where people park well past where they're supposed to. And often you have to like inch out really far so that people are like swerving around the tip of your car just so you can see left and right so you can see if it's safe for you to turn. And I hate that. So I try to plan my route. So I have to do that as little as humanly possible because it just feels super dangerous. Same way, I hate not being able to pre-plan a route. Maps does not help most of the time. I do better sometimes driving routes that I've driven before. So sometimes I'll try to like go new places based off of a place that I've already been. It's like, well, it's exactly like driving to so-and-so place, except I'm going to go like 2 more streets down and then make another turn. And then sometimes I'll try to relate like a new thing to a thing that I know how to do because I know how to drive. I've had my license for 4 years. I've been driving. I giga studied for the test and then I studied again when I came back to Canada just in case anything was different. Not much was different. And so I understand the rules of it. My fear is either A, that I'm just not going to see something in time. Sometimes I'm worried that my awareness isn't good enough even though I'm keeping an eye on things. Like I'm worried that I'll check my blind spot and just not see something. I'm worried that I'm going to look in my mirror and check my blind spot and then go, okay, I'm changing lanes, and there will just be something there that I didn't see even though I looked. I have that fear. And then, I don't know. I forgot where I was going. But, yeah, just working it up in little things, doing things that are similar but a little bit different to the thing that you already do. Or, just move to an enlightened society that is, like, walkable with really good transit, and then you just don't have to drive. There's lots of cities where, like, people don't drive because it's just really cost inefficient to do so. But if I want to go to lots of places, I need to be able to drive. Most people in the US suck at traffic circles. My own driving doesn't make me anxious, it's other people. Yeah. Yeah, and that's stressful because there's really nothing you can do. Okay, we're getting out, trying another character. Have you been back in Canada for 4 years? No, 2.5 years, I think. I moved back at the end of 2021. It was like Christmas time 2021 when I came back here. But I got my license in 2020 in the States. I remember taking my driving test during the pandemic. My tires are going to fall off the front of my car. Huh. Still drive. That's what plays in my head the whole time. That sounds really scary. Was the instructor on Skype? No. I postponed my test for like a while because for a while they just weren't doing any of them back when they hadn't really, like at the very beginning of the pandemic. And then they started doing them with masks. And that caused me a big thing because I was like, I need to wear my glasses. When I wear a mask and glasses, the glasses fog up. And what I ended up getting was like, there's like a solution that you can put onto glass or plastic, I suppose, that is like an anti-fog thing. And I ended up getting that so I could apply it right before my driving exam so I could wear both and still be able to see. Do you have issues with people not showing in your garrison after completing a garrison invasion? No, but I haven't spent very much time in garrisons at all. The thing I hate is when people try to like social pressure you to speed when you're driving. I dislike that. I do not like when somebody's like riding my tail trying to get me to speed when I'm already going like a couple kilometers over and there's another lane and they can pass me. When it's a 1-lane road, that, I mean, I still don't get it and I still don't like it. I feel like we should all just like, if you're that late, then manage your time better. Don't make it my problem. But like if there's a place I can pull over and then let them go, then that's fine. But I really don't like when somebody's like really frustrated with you for not driving fast, like quickly or aggressively enough when you are by all means doing the limit, you know. That gets on my nerves.
Watch your step.
But for all this talk about how scary driving is, my life is, at least in the place that I live, because like I said, I need to be able to drive to get things like my animals to their vet visits, or like myself to visit family, or myself to hiking, or to like various appointments. Like it would be a lot harder logistically to live my life without it. And I know because I have lived my life without it before. I used to live here and I didn't drive when I was a young adult in my early 20s. And it was awful. So, I will say that for all the talk about how scary it is, I am so happy that I do it anyways. And I had a moment yesterday where I was like, you know what? I have a license. I have a car. This is my car. I bought it. This one's mine. I paid for some gas. I put some gas in it. I'm going to drive myself to the park and I'm going to go for a hike. Watch me. The freedom that I feel for being able to do that. Don't get me wrong, I'm still like heart pounding super tense while I'm like actually on the road paying attention, but it gets a little tiny bit better every time that I do it.
Which way?
And the
Phase
ability
2.
to take myself where I want to go on my own time
Phase 3.
is incredible. It's great. I brought a Squishmallow with me because I was like, you know what? I'm going out on my own. I'm going to pick a plushie off my shelf. I'm going to bring it in my tote. I'm going to have it sit in the passenger seat with me so that my car feels like a more friendly place to be. So I bring a plushie and I sit it on the passenger seat when I'm driving somewhere alone. I thought all Canadians were nice. Does that not translate to on the road? I don't think it's safe to say that everybody anywhere is nice. Lots of Canadians are nice. And lots of them are nice on the road. I think that it's friendlier driving here than it is in a lot of places. But it's never going to be universal. You're always going to have people. I like to mostly just get out of their way so they can zoom off to wherever it is that they're going in a hurry. That's how I felt with my first credit card bill for some reason. I'm an adult, planning for my future, and I should go on a walk. Inconvenient to not have a license, public transportation lacking. I find that in the city, in Victoria, public transit is pretty good. It's not perfect, but it's better than a lot of places I've been. It's just that it is occasionally super crowded. Sometimes you'll get on a bus and the bus is just packed and you're like, this is uncomfortable for different reasons. And it's not super convenient for like if you have like a huge load of groceries or you want to bring I can't bring my dog on the bus because he wouldn't fit on my lap. I wouldn't necessarily take a bus to go fishing, or like a bus will take you a lot longer. Like I could get to many places with a bus, but something that is like an 8-minute drive could easily be a 45-minute bus ride because the bus is a super long route that stops a lot. And you know, it's not like a direct there like a car is. Sometimes I'll take a bus someplace once just so I can like scope out the roads and scope out the parking and stuff. And then I'll drive there in subsequent times. I've done that before. There's an appointment that I went to where the first time I went, I took the bus there and it took me like an hour and a half to get there with 2 buses, including like a fairly lengthy transfer. But I got there and I like scoped it out. And then every time after that, I've just driven and it's like 20 minutes, maybe 40 in traffic. But like, if I time it well, I don't hit traffic. Carpooling. Yeah, but not only driving anxiety, there's also social anxiety. I know I'm an anxious person, but I think it's only recently that I've come to realize how, I don't want to say crippling my anxiety is, because it's not a contest. It's not like a meter. It's not like you're an 89 and then all of a sudden you're like a blurp, 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 she's broken. But how much I've allowed my life to become limited because of how much I structure my life to avoid things that make me anxious. And I'm still anxious a lot because everything does at a certain point. And the more you avoid things that make you anxious, the lower your threshold for things that are making you anxious becomes. For me. Oh, I needed to go to Freehold on that character. So, like, I hadn't really... Like, I knew it was, like, a problem, but I don't think I'd really considered it to the extent that it exists until recently. I did get the Vicious mount. No, I have... I drive. I drive. Partner does not currently drive here, so I am the driver. I have the car. He helps me wash my car. I need to wash it again. I washed it, and then immediately a bird decided that that was the right place to have a bad tummy day, so I need to wash it again. We're going to freehold. That's what we're doing. But yeah, exposure is the big thing, and that's tricky for me because I don't have to drive. I think I would have been still anxious, especially about driving in new places, and I think that's normal. There's plenty of drivers that, like, if you had them drive in like a different city, they would be a little anxious, even if they're totally normal driving in their own city, just because it's new. It's not like a super rare thing to be a bit anxious while driving, or a lot anxious while driving. The more you do it, the better you feel about it, I think. And I just don't do it very much because I don't have a commute. And I don't have a lot of things that need me to drive. So I end up driving like every 2 weeks. Like I might take my car out once every 2 weeks, like twice a month, which means that I save a lot of money on gas. Why have I gone to... Where am I going? Don't mind me. Never driven an NYC. Yeah. I had an Uber once, or like a Lyft or something. I had some kind of ride share in San Francisco. And it took us like, I don't know, an hour to get... I think I could have walked faster after a certain point. I probably should have asked her to let me just walk, although I had a bunch of luggage. But it took us so long in such traffic. And I was so impressed because clearly she was an Uber driver, so she had done it a lot before, and she was used to driving that city. But it was like a super dense urban grid, people honking, pedestrians inventing rules, cyclists just doing ballets in the intersections. It was nuts. And she was just telling me this whole story about like her daughter and where they're from and whatnot, while like casually navigating all of this very effectively and pretty safely. Like she was a good driver. And I was just so in awe of the confidence that required, because I could never. But yeah, sometimes I make myself feel better by looking at everybody else that's only paying like 60% attention and being like, they feel okay to pay that much attention. I'm going to pay full attention and I will not feel as okay. But the fact that everybody seems to manage to just like skate through driving and they only occasionally die must mean that while it is dangerous and important to pay attention, it might not be as dangerous as my brain is making it out to seem. I think it's just because I'm behind the wheel. I didn't used to have anxiety about being a passenger unless somebody was doing something dangerous, like actually dangerous, like texting and driving. Worst thing about driving in SF is the hills, like a roller coaster. I used to see that in Seattle too. I've only died once or twice while driving. It's fine. Happy my commute's a 5-minute walk to work. Can't deal with transit anymore. Yeah, I'm super, super lucky. Only died that one time. No biggie. Yeah, I think I just need to both get more practice, but like trust my instincts a little bit more. Still obviously pay attention, but in the instances in my life where there have been like sort of like close calls, like somebody ran a stop sign at me once, or you know, somebody doing something really crazy on the highway. Whenever that has happened, I have been able to get out of the way, basically. I've been able to see it coming, pay attention, use my horn when necessary, and otherwise avoid calamity because I saw. Like, I have some amount of instincts. I'm not just like a fluffy cloud floating through the highway hoping that nothing goes wrong. Even if it feels that way sometimes. From Australia, living in London, would love to do a year in Vancouver Island. If you ever get a chance to and you can afford it, it is gorgeous here. Someone threw a stop sign at you? Why would they do that? Top 10% of driving competency. Thank you. I'm going to remind myself of that next time I'm nervous. You've never even seen me drive. And you never will, because I don't know how streamers manage to stream and drive. I could never. Holy moly. JG Britt, thank you for the 27-month resub. Thank you for 27 months of lovely content from such a down-to-earth, lovely creator. Did you get your vicious mail? I did. Thank you very much. Do you want to see it? Vicious Moon Beast. There it is. The golden name. Here, let's get our RP walk on. This is how we get the freehold mounted drop. Imagine if you were a fluffy glove. The rain was so pretty yesterday when I was hiking. Mind you, I was not wearing a waterproof layer, so I was getting kind of wet. And it wasn't pouring rain, it was just kind of like misting rain. And I was in kind of like a hilly, mountainy, foresty area, so you could kind of see like layers of like, here's some forest, and then there's some mist in front of this next part of forest, and then the mountain in the distance is just like blue fuzz. And it's so pretty. I love it when it gets like that. And you could like hear all the raindrops on the leaves and stuff. And I got free kisses from a dog. There was a dog that ran right up to me on the trail and then was just like, hello? And I said, hello. And then it like sniffed my hand and then it gave me like a big old kiss in the hand. And then its owner was like, come on, let's go. I'm assuming their dog does that to lots of people and that it is occasionally embarrassing, but I really like it. Big old bulldog. What if it did? You'd have to do this for all future grinds, just in case. Didn't I turn my sound off? Maybe. My music just stopped. Any luck? No, not that time. How's our instance lockout doing? 8 instances entered, with 18 minutes before any more show up. So I'm gonna do one more run. It's 11:52. We'll do one more really dramatic, drawn-out run. Let's hearth our way home here, huh? Hazel, you know the I pitied the fool Arathi Basin achievement from Love is in the Air meta. Do you think the Arathi Blizzard map from the current Brawl will count? I don't know. Love is in the Air is also over though. If I had a nickel for every dog that does that to me, I'd be rich. I love it. I'm not as dog crazy as I was before I got a dog, because getting a dog really took the edge off that. But because I have like an unlimited supply of puppy kisses at home. But it still makes my day. I haven't really learned the names of anybody that lives in my neighborhood, but by golly, I know a lot of their dogs. Because Moose knows a lot of their dogs too. Dungeon difficulty. Alright, last chance of the day. Let's make it a good one. Let me check my sound and see if, have I turned it off? Did it just decide to quit? Did my headphones disconnect? My headphones disconnected. You guys probably still have music. Alright, well that's fine then. I guess I ran out of battery early today. This is the run. Dog names over human names. They're usually more memorable, although there's a lot of dupes. Dog names apparently are occasionally very popular, so you might know like a bunch of different dogs with the same name. Alright, it's just acapella for me. That's okay. After stream, I'm gonna see if it stopped raining. I'm gonna start my bread. I'm gonna make a list. Maybe I'll make a loose schedule for the rest of the day. And then it's like not the end of the world if I don't stick to it, but I will at least have tried to make a schedule. I used to set goals and lists and schedules and times and stuff and then not do them. And I did that so often that it was like demoralizing, so I stopped trying. But I think I've come to realize that even if I like make a plan and I abandon the plan, I have a better chance of doing some stuff off the plan if there was a plan in the first place. It's a non-zero benefit. I'm also super lucky in that even though I'm not functioning at what I think a human should be able to do, I've been functioning enough that my life hasn't fallen apart, which I really appreciate, you know? There are things that I could improve, but I really, really appreciate that the level that I'm able to put out consistently has been paying the bills, at least. You know, I'm no millionaire, but I have my rent's paid, which is great. High bar there, Hazel. Sheesh. More than 500 attempts with no mount. Oh man. Sometimes that's all you need. Maybe this is enough. Maybe it's enough and I still want more. And I can still work on more, but accept that this is enough. Maybe this plus like the Farak guide. Maybe spit that out there before season 4. Come on, Harlan. One mount, please. Nope, nope. That's okay. We have more attempts that we can do next week. Next week? Tomorrow. Tomorrow. Because we have, let's look at the calendar before I go here. I'm wrapping up the stream, but we're going to noodle around for a little bit before I go. I'm going to log on to a different character so I can look at the calendar. Solo Self-Found is on the 29th. I guess I can look on a calendar here. I have a whole week before I get to do that. And I thought about, like, messing around in hardcore to, like, practice for Self-Found. And then I thought, where's the fun in that? Go in blind, and then if you die, start over. You know. That's just content. So, I need to find things to do for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 more streams, because I don't know what time it starts on the Thursday, and I don't know if it's going to be, like, playable on the Thursday. So I need basically a week's worth of streams. I can't promise you that I will find things to do in WoW for all of them. We can finish the freehold runs. I have transmog collecting, but I'm honestly just not feeling it right now. I might prefer to do some Hearthstone Battleground streams or something. Achievements? I'm not an achievement hunter. There are transmogs I could work on, but I'm not super feeling it. There's other mount forms that I could do, but unless I get this mount, I don't really want to move my characters. I don't want to do Rise Keys, and I don't want to do Rise Keys until I get Sharkbait, which I may not get. That might not be up to me. So it's not that I have nothing to do, but the things that I could do, I am not wildly feeling. So it might be Palworld, it might be Hearthstone Battlegrounds. I might do that at least once because I have been addicted. It's been a problem. I force Quillbores every game because I love them so much. I am a Quilby's main. I am not even apologetic. I will tank games because I tried to go Quillbores when I really shouldn't have done so, and I'll do it again every time. It is the most fun. Nothing is better than getting a really strong Quillbore game. Murlocs are pretty good too. I basically only know of like 2 or 3 win conditions, so if I can't get those, I like throw. But that's fine. I'm a 6K player. It's not a big deal. Me with elementals. I can't do elementals anymore. I used to do them all the time with Cho or whatever. And nowadays, unless I'm like Nizar or Cthulhu with the elemental guy, I'm not scaling enough. The elemental buffs to Tavern, I've not been able to scale them enough. Maybe I just need to try harder. Yeah, I got to 6K, and it's a good thing. It's a good thing they don't let you tank below it because I'm just a flat 6K because I just lose games. Congrats. Oh, I thank you. I won't lie. I don't really keep track of my Hearthstone rating because I, on occasion, have done the thing where I just like leave a lobby because I'm like, you know what? This isn't coming together. I actually have to go. Never mind. Like, I'll just not finish games because like dinner was ready or something like that, or because I didn't get what I wanted, because my rating's not super important to me. Yeah, I think we might do some Hearthstone Battleground streams. And it's not like Solo Shuffle where you're like ruining it for a bunch of other people if you do that. You're just tanking your own rating. So we'll do that. But first we're gonna do the rest of our freehold runs tomorrow. It looks like we have one. Did I do this character? Yeah, 1, 2. So we're gonna start with Crinkle. I'm gonna remember that we're starting with Crinkle. 2, 4, 6, 8. 8 more freehold attempts. And then you know what? Boy actually has his class order hall mount, so I can do more Warlock campaign. I feel like we're probably not crazy far from being done with that, so that'll be a fun thing to work on too, to just kind of get like another set of class mounts. Plus, once I get those class mounts, I will need to farm the dropped one because there's one that drops from like an Argus rare or something. Or maybe Broken Shore, I don't know. There's some dude. Excited for some more though. Yeah. Scary game stream? You want to watch me play a scary game? I've got like a 10-year-old let's play of like early 20s Hazel trying to play Amnesia games. that is the last time I played a scary game. Elden Ring has been a bit scary for me. I could play Elden Ring on stream, if people want to watch me suffer. Elden Ring is a bit scary. The castle with the grafting was like kind of spooky, man. I found a pot that was alive and I'm like, oh cute, it's a living jar, and I cracked it open, it was full of meat. Elden Ring would get Kurt's back. Red Shamrock, thank you very much for the 20-month resub. Popping in late, but hi Hazel. Hey, how you doing? Also, Toad's Wunch. 12. Thank you for the brand new Prime sub. Is that 12? Or is it 8? I'm not great with numerals, but I appreciate it very much. Yeah, we'll find some stuff to do. We'll mix and match for the rest of this week until Southbound comes out. But when Southbound comes out, your girl's having a hardcore classic time. It's gonna be great. Oh, kitty cat. Shall we go figure out what's for lunch? Well, I know you have kibble, but shall I go figure out what's for lunch for me? I appreciate your company today, everybody. Thank you very much for joining me. I'll be back tomorrow morning with another WoW stream. Thank you, and have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye.